Okay, no more stalling. Chucky review, final review. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm so sad. It was so close. It was so close. Hello, buddy, DK Guillotine here, and welcome to my final review of the finale of the Chucky. So we're reviewing episode 7 and episode 8. And this took a lot longer than it should have because, oh god, the finale, dude. Why? Why? We were this close. We were on the verge of greatness, but god damn it. Alright, we're gonna talk about the finale, but first let's talk about episode 7, because episode 7 was another, once again, absolute smash hit of an episode. I love just about everything about episode 7. Of course, episode 7, you get the whole thing with Junior, and Chucky it is revealed that Chucky has to get one of the kids of Hackensack to commit a murder, and that will allow him to complete his voodoo spell. You're not really given a good reason why, but hey, it is what it is, and he chooses to go with Junior because he's the only one that's depressed enough or hates his father enough, so he actually gets Junior to kill Devin Sawa with the Chucky doll, which was a pretty awesome scene. I did like that. He's smashing the Chucky doll into him. And another thing they did in this that I really loved, that I can't believe I never even thought about ever doing in the past, was to have Chucky talk shit through the Chucky doll's voice. So he's like, previously, I'm fucking Chucky. He's actually talking through the doll's voice, like the actual doll voice, not his voice, which is really awesome. And I hope they do that more. I don't know, maybe he just like just figured out that he could do that, so now he's doing it. I don't know. Pretty fucking awesome though. I absolutely love that whole thing, and yeah, I do hope they use that more, because when that was happening, I was like, that is a really cool idea. I like that. Cause Junior's like walking towards his father with him, and he's just talking shit through the actual doll voice, so he doesn't even know that Chucky's still alive. And by the time he died, he probably still didn't know that Chucky was alive. So pretty awesome. I did love that. You also get the whole thing with Andy and Kyle in this. They're coming, and for some reason, Andy locks Kyle out of the car and drives off with him. I don't know. I guess he wants to protect him. I guess he wants to protect her, but she still basically arrives at the exact same time as Andy somehow. So there's that. You also get the whole thing with Devin. Devin finds out that where Charles Lee Ray's old house is. Goes there, breaks in, and then he finds Nika, who's tied up there by Tiffany, and then he lets her out, and it turns out to be Chucky, and now he's the one who gets locked in there. So now Devin is stuck in Charles Lee Ray old house. So you have that, and then it's revealed that he has like the whole army of Chucky dolls right there. All very cool. All of this was a really good build up to the finale of the season and the series, in my opinion. I did think episode 7 did continue the steady stream of really good. A couple little nitpicks I will say in this episode. There is that whole part when Jake runs away, and it really doesn't mean anything because he comes right back, and then he comes back, and the first person he talks to is Lexi, and she scolds him for running away, and he says something along the lines of, I don't have any family here, and then she says she is his family, and I'm like, have you really earned that amount of redemption yet, Lexi? Like, I do think she's a better person now, but I feel like they might be moving a little too fast there. Like, Lexi was like the actual Antichrist in the beginning of this show. She's a much better person now by this episode, but I don't think she's quite made it that far. I feel like it would have made more sense for her to like struggle with him in that scene. Like say Jake comes back, says he has no family, and that's when Lexi realizes that she actually wants to be his friend, that she wants to comfort him, and then she's kind of conflicted. You maybe get a scene where she's like standing there and like maybe looking around or like looking all hesitate, and then she talks to him and tells him and maybe comforts him and goes a little slower than just straight up being like, I'm your family. Like, that is just something that bugged me a little bit, and I feel like it could have been handled a little bit better. So overall, I really liked episode 7. There's not a ton to talk about in this episode, because most of this episode is really just here to build into the finale. So now, let's talk about the finale. Alright, the final episode of Chucky. This was by far my least favorite episode of the entire show, and the only episode that I straight up did not like. Everything they tried in this episode fell flat on its face. Everything. They did not stick the landing with one of the stories in this entire show. Everything makes no sense whatsoever. Let's just start ripping this apart. So the first thing I want to talk about is the thing with Tiffany. Tiffany says she's fed up with Chucky, and she cuts the fucking doll's head off, and then she like lets Devin out. No, she doesn't let Devin out. She just cuts the doll off, and she's like, fuck it, I'm done. She takes Junior, and then she carries out Chucky's plan anyway with all of the dolls. Like, why? If you said you came this far, and then you said fuck you to Chucky, but then you still carried out his master plan anyway. Little confusing, don't understand what was going on there. And then you get the whole thing with freaking Kyle and Andy, where Tiffany puts this bomb by the door that's gonna go off when they come in. It happens exactly as Tiffany said. Andy and Devin are both in the house. Kyle opens the door, you get the bomb go off. But Devin and Andy are completely fine, and they never give any explanation of how they're completely fine, how they walked away from that bomb without a scratch on their body. And I'm almost certain that Kyle isn't dead either, because they didn't even acknowledge Kyle for the rest of the episode. So clearly she's gonna come back in season 2, which yes, season 2 was confirmed. She's gonna come back in season 2, but once again, there's absolutely no explanation whatsoever for how Andy and Devin both escaped death at that point. Like, it was a huge explosion. They could literally see it from people could walk out of their house and they could see the explosion happening. And yet Andy and Devin are completely unscathed. They walk out of this house like it's nothing. Like, Devin just shows up and he's just completely fine, and I'm just like, what? Like, why? What? No one is gonna be that fucking okay after being in a house that just exploded, dude. So, that's another thing I did not like about this episode. Another thing, the way they wrapped up all of the stories in here, not one of them was good. There was the whole thing with Junior, they built up Junior to be like the second antagonist, or another antagonist of the show, because he kills his father in episode 7, and then he comes back, he wants to start, he's like all on board with killing, he wants to help out, and then Lexi follows him to the back, and he's like ready to kill her, and it's like, this I don't mind, like maybe having Lexi like bring him back, realize that he's not a killer, that he's not a bad person, but then he just dies. Then they just have Chucky kill him. So that whole thing in episode 7, and basically the whole build up through the entire season, because it was pretty obvious that Junior was not loving this, and it did feel like maybe there was going to be something going down with him by the end of it. But no, they do this, they introduce that plot line in episode 7, and then in this one they just fucking kill him. That's it. That's all. He's done. He takes out that Chucky doll, and the Chucky doll kills him, and that's it. No more Junior. Okay, thanks for building up an entire season's worth of that character just to kill him off in the next episode. So yeah, another thing made fucking no sense whatsoever. And then you get a cliffhanger, ending where where Andy hijacks the fucking truck with all the Chucky dolls in it, drives out, presumably into season 2. You do get this cool scene where you get doll Tiffany back. So I guess Tiffany also did a Horcrux and has her doll and has her soul in a doll as well, or maybe in multiple dolls as well. So that was pretty cool. I did like that part. So it's pretty cool that we're going to get doll Tiffany back. And honestly, doll Tiffany may be a little bit more scary than human Tiffany, because human Tiffany in this show was not the most threatening character in the show, I won't lie. So yeah, you get that huge cliffhanger ending, so you don't get any resolution with that in this season anyway. And then, the nail in the coffin for this episode. What they did to Fiona Dorff in this episode is unforgivable. This is a awful idea, and the fact that anybody thought this was a good idea is fucking ridiculous. You know that song One by Metallica? Apply that song to Fiona Dorff. I cannot believe they did this. Fiona Dorff is an incredible actress. She is amazing. Like, one of the best actresses on this entire show, if not the actual best, honestly. And they cut her arms and legs off. What the fuck were you thinking, Don Mancini? What on earth is wrong with you? I can't believe they did this. I cannot believe they did this. That they fucking did that to the best actor on their show. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it, because Fiona Dorff is so incredible in this role. She was stealing the show for the first episode 5, 6, 7, and now 8. and then they just do this. I have no words. I have no words to describe how much I fucking hate this plot twist. I honestly hope that that Don Mancini will see all this and he will retcon the end of this. I hope he does. Because to do this to Fiona Dorff and to Nika is unforgivable. And there is not one cell in my body that is behind this plot twist. It is fucking ridiculous. It's so bad. So please, yes, Don Mancini, if any team is somehow watching this video, which I know they're not, but if they are, I'm going to say it anyway, do not go through with this. You have a year to decide whether you want to go through with this or not. No one will be mad at you if you retcon this, because it's fucking stupid, okay? Get your fucking ass get your head out of your ass and change this shit, because it's an awful idea, and it is going to ruin this show if you keep it going, especially if you keep Fiona Dorff on there, because you have handicapped your best fucking actor. So that's it. That's all I want to say about the finale of Chucky. Overall, this was a huge letdown. I loved this show all the way up until the very end, but this final episode was just terrible. Honestly, it was so bad. Nothing about this episode landed for me. I did not enjoy one thing. I guess I will say the way they wrap up Jake's storyline is not the worst. I don't hate that, where he finally kills the Chucky doll. But the whole thing with him and Devin overall, their whole relationship, while it is good, I feel like the Devin character really wasn't all that in on it, and at no point did it really feel like Devin was like actually in love with Jake to the point where to the level that Jake was in love with Devin. Personally, I'm not sure why I felt that way, but it really didn't feel like Devin was all that much into it. But their relationship just felt a little bit strange to me overall, just a little bit. But Jake was a great character that I really liked throughout the show, but freaking, they don't really do much with him towards the end of this show. Like, it feels like at episode, 6 probably, that Jake kind of becomes just a secondary character of the show and not really the main character anymore. So, I don't know, guys. I really loved this show up until the finale, but this finale just did nothing for me. Like, I hated just about everything they did with it, man. So, there you have it. That's my final thoughts on the season 1 of Chucky. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Guys, what did you think of the finale? If you've been on board with the Chucky show like I have, please let me know in the comments. Did you like this season finale? Was it actually great for you? Did you love it, or were you like me that just really did not like any of the way they wrapped up any of these storylines and is just at an utter loss for words for why the fuck anybody thought it would be a good idea to fucking handicap the best actress of the show? So, there you go. Those are all my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts now. Leave them in the comment section down below. And yeah, there you have it. Sorry this took so long, but I really had to let this finale process, and it's done now. So, thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And this is DK Guillotine, signing out.